Fretless, the Wrath of Riffson, a lovingly crafted guitar RPG, came out on July 17th from first-time developers Ritual Studios and Playdigis Publishing, who graciously provided the channel with a review copy of this game. If the game's name sounds familiar at all, it may be because you're a fan of Rob Scallon, a very well-known music YouTuber who has about as many talented friends in his orbit as a full orchestra. The man has personally funded and helped to develop this game over the last 8 years with friends and colleagues from across music and gaming. I won't give you a history lesson on this game's journey from inception to fruition. I would recommend watching the very good mini doc on Rob's channel, linked in the description of the video for that. I will even get my score for the game out of the way up top, so if you're looking for that, here it is. The game is a very solid 9 out of 10, and it definitely ranks in my top 10 games released so far this year. What I want to do in today's video is go over why I think Fretless marks a golden standard for what can be delivered by indie gaming, and why I think it's important to reward this level of passion and creativity any chance we get. So without further ado, let's tune up our 8 strings, plug in our pedals, and get riffing. Fretless begins with a fantastic animated sequence featuring a battle of the bands. The style instantly teleported me back to playing games on Newgrounds.com, and the creative risks taken with this game feel like the kinds you would only take if you were making a game you wanted to play, which is another staple of the early Flash game landscape. From there, we meet Rob, our silent protagonist who chooses to speak through music. Rob wants to compete in the Battle of the Bands, which is held yearly by Super Metal Records, headed by the fiendish Rick Riffson. On his way to the challenge, he learns of SMR's plot to take over the music industry and suck the creativity and soul out of everyone they sign, as well as release a horde of musically themed monsters on the populace. This is a classic heart and soul of music versus the bland and evil corporate ghouls plot, and there's just enough twists and turns to keep you propelled and engaged in more than just the fantastic fighting and deck building mechanics. At its core, this is an RPG. What the developers have cleverly mapped onto it are deck building and rhythm elements, where you're constantly discovering new riffs to add to your repertoire of 4 instruments, each with their own unique attachments, ultimates, and a set of 3 pedals that can help synergize whichever build you settle on. There's no cost to switching up your moves, so you're fully encouraged to try a lot of new styles out until you find one that provides the most fun or adds to the soundtrack in the way that best suits your tastes. Each attack encourages the player to try to time a button press at the right moment to make the move stronger, as well as when an enemy is attacking to lower the damage received. The ultimate move for each instrument opens a Guitar Hero style sequence where hitting a directional inputs on the keyboard or button presses on the controller lead to a more powerful effect. This combat system kept me engaged and constantly vibing to the beat of each fight, which is easy to do since the soundtrack is incredible. This mix of rhythm and deck building really struck a chord with me and felt so unique and creative. If you enjoy the turn-based combat of Expedition 33, or for some of us older folks, Paper Mario, this really hits the same level of satisfaction. In today's overcrowded gaming market, it takes a lot to cut through the noise and deliver a game that feels like a pure distillation of the creative spirit of the developers. Games like these take a lot of time to conceive, even more time to create, and usually the better part of 3 or 4 days to play to completion. I think the current market of free-to-play games that never end, over 100-hour action RPGs, and games that encourage players to endlessly grind for that one piece of OP equipment can leave some gamers feeling like they aren't getting the most out of a game if it isn't one they can play until the end of time. I find Fretless's tight pacing that rewards experimentation and prioritizes fun over needless complexity so refreshing. The game has one very clear goal: make you feel like a god of music who wields your prowess to defeat evil. And guess what? They absolutely deliver on this while also providing a beautifully crafted world. And while my only gripe is wishing for a boss rush mode to try out various builds, a new game plus mode, or even some post-game content to make unlocking those final riffs more rewarding, I also realize this is not a bad problem to have. I loved the game for what it gave me, and only feel the need for more because that's sort of what I've been conditioned to want for the last 10 years of gaming. I do feel very satisfied with my time. Maybe I'll come back to the game to try a separate instrument build, as I became very pleased with my 8-string build that solidified for the final act. I really think this game is special. It feels like a game you would dream up with your friends and think, how cool would it be if we made that? That's pretty much what happened here. No committees, no loot boxes, no trends being chased, just a pure creative vision that was realized through sleepless nights over several years. Now again, in full disclosure, I was given a review copy of the game, which I'm incredibly lucky and grateful for. However, from the day I tried the demo, I knew I would be getting this day one. I would be making this video even if the studio hadn't given me a key, so all views I expressed today are my own. If you would like to check it out, there's a link in the description of the video. Alright, that'll do it for the video today. If you enjoyed it, please give a like, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and let me know in the comments, will you be checking Fretless out? I really think you should. I stream on Twitch as well, so check out the description of the video for more information there, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye-bye.